Oh Lord, oh Lord. Now we done had Jim Jones, Mace, and Cam all in a battle of a beef over 50 Cent. Now what the fuck going on? All these grown men battling over 50 Cent and what the hell kind of scenario they been in, and if they old school friends, if they young school friends. Man, I know y'all heard what's going on with Jim Jones and Dipset and Cam and all of them, man. Them boys been around each other for 30 years, building up the best music brand you could think of because they had the streets so locked down. I'm in my early 20s, late 20s, and I'm rocking with them. We traveling all the way to New York to go kick it around them. And we didn't meet them personally. We were just going to New York and Philly because we from the Shy and we never met them in life and we didn't care. We were just like, we fuck with their music. We got to go to their hood. We damn near was like investigators. We went to Marcy. We went to Siegel Street. We was all up and down New York at that time. We was like, I think it's 2001 or some shit like that to be exact, 2000 or something like that. So them niggas was rocking out. Dipset had the fucking game. And we loved it. You know what I mean? We hip hop aficionados, man. It's like who we was growing up. It's the part of our life. And so it was like, that's what it was. So you didn't see them beefing, having a disagreements, not liking each other, but life is life, man. And then sometimes they grow apart. And I got friendships like that to this day. I wouldn't say it's hate, but I'd say that we don't really rock it the same. We don't kick it like that no more. And so it's like, is that like I don't like the person or they don't like me? It's like, nah, we just grown. We doing other shit. Like, you got kids, you got life, you got bills, you got businesses. You're not really standing around the way you used to. And I'm talking about standing around, physically standing around. Like, we around each other, kicking it. Same house, same party, same whatever. And then you go into a time where it's not like that no more. You might not see him no more. But let's get down to the story. Camron got mad at Mace. Got back in the day. Mace had made money. Cam wasn't really tight with Mace when Mace got a successful career. At that time, he started running with uh, Jim Jones. They all knew each other prior to them getting tight, but if they was all prior to them making it. But you know, Mason was the one who went up, and so them all kind of being still cool. Jim Jones and Camron ran, but then they ran for decades. You see, Mace never really came back around them wholeheartedly like that, and then they were some buddies. And then you see Cam uh, switch sides over years. And then I could say Jim Jones did a little snaky thing when he got on Rap City with 50 Cent years ago, and he did an appearance, and it was like in the middle of a beef. You never would have expected no shit like that, but it happened. It was a riff and they clicked, but we didn't know that because they kept it real low key. We just thought they was a team, and they was clicked. They was a crew. And then now they revealed that it was a rift between them. And at that time, we could tell because obviously he over here with 50 Cent. Jim Jones went over to 50 Cent, but 50 Cent tricked him. He wasn't really trying to rock with him. He wasn't really trying to help him out. That's what we assume. And ultimately, he never really clicked it with 50 Cent. And we kind of thought he was switching sides. He was going to start running with 50 Cent. It was really unique and crazy because you had never seen that in the hip hop beef. Nobody has ever switched sides or went to the op side at the time in the middle of a beef. Even though Cameron is the one who kicked the beef off. They was on Angie Martinez's show. He called up there when 50 Cent was doing an interview. And then in about 2 or 3 minutes, he started snapping on 50. 50 said, man, you don't want to do this. And then he got into the Curtis, and then the beef kicked off. And then weeks later, Jim Jones showed up to Rap City where 50 Cent was at, and it was basically against Cam. Cam never basically got back around them totally, it looked like. Even though they probably did do business, do shows, do this, that, and the third, they never really wholeheartedly got back around each other and squashed it. So now you look at it today, and it's Jim Jones got his own life. He a rapper now. They revealing that Mace taught him how to rap. This probably was out there prior, but it's super viral now because Cam and Mace got their own show. They got back cool, Killer and Murder, and they got back cool again, and now they got their own show. So you don't see Jim Jones running around Cam no more. He kind of his own man, but the beef is just swirling out of control. 50 Cent did an interview with Cam on It Is What It Is podcast. And when he got on there, they talked about that moment. And 50 Cent was like, man, I put the message out there. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he did it. He left and went over to the show where 50 was at, the Rap City show. And it was like, damn, it was embarrassing. They asked, Jim Jones had an interview with a guy named Justin Lavone, some guy like that. And he was on the interview. And in that interview, he asked him, what you think about that? And Jim Jones was like, man, them niggas on my dick. They on my dick. Why they got to talk about me? Why the fuck they worried about my life for? Nigga, y'all do y'all thing, but they on my dick. And that was it. When he did that, then Jim Jones got into it. You know, he an emotional kind of guy. So he was like, man, wasn't nobody finna do that action. What did they say when you went over to 50 Cent? He's like, man, they ain't say shit to me because they knew what it was. They knew, nigga, I'm about my money. I'm trying to make money. I got a hot song in the country. I'm trying to rock with dude. They doing arenas. Like, what you fucking talking about? You know what I'm saying? Nobody said shit. They knew what it was. So it made it seem like almost like Camron, like Jim Jones was saying that he'd beat Cam ass and he'd beat Jewel's ass had they said something about him going to kick with 50 Cent. So everybody just kind of didn't speak on it. Well, you know, that's also going to make a beef happen if they can't really say shit because you might whoop their ass or whatever. So now decades didn't pass and motherfuckers ain't got to sit around you no more. All that shit is out in the open. And friendships, again, they touch and go. You know, I don't think them guys going to turn into no physical beef or nothing like that, but it's like Jim Jones. I mean, Camron is getting really personal. He like, yo, nigga, you didn't grow up with us. You wasn't with us and all that. That's kind of neither here nor there because if a guy been rocking with you for 20 years, it don't matter if y'all grew up on the same fucking block. What the fuck do that matter? And at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, you was at my grandmama crib. We was at your grandmama crib, but I wasn't homeless, nigga. You wasn't saying that when you was spending the night over there. You wasn't popping up to myself, hey man, I'm bringing these bitches over here, but I ain't homeless. You ain't say no shit like that. You came over there and kicked it like it was a spot to be, like anybody else would. You never looked at that spot and was like, don't bring this up in the future. Or looked at him like, yeah, man, we at dude crib, man. He a goofy, man. Come up and bring some bitches over there. No, you was rocking with him. Y'all probably brought chicks together and kicked, because if otherwise you would have never brought him into the hip-hop game with you. You would have just been you and your crew and your people from your neighborhood, the people you talking about. But you didn't. You got a guy who supposedly ain't even from your neighborhood, and you brought him into the rap game. And he been a rapper ever since. We all rock with him and support him. We thought he was Dipset. So to try to throw him completely under the bus that he just didn't grow up on your block with you, he grew up in another hood or he was from the Bronx, that shit even matter. Because he in the game, he was a part of Dipset. Who cares what block he grew up on? And if you got a tighter connection to your niggas from your block, then where the fuck they at? It's been 20-something years. You could have put 9 of them niggas out by now. But you didn't. You got your crew with Jim Jones and Jewels. So, you know, we just got to look at that, like the emotionality that he going through right now, making him try to scream and bug out on Jim Jones a little harder than ever, because Jim Jones did say, I beat your ass and you know it. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't say it like that, but that's kind of what he was kind of saying. And he said, they know it. Like, and so now it's like, well, let's throw him under the bus. Yeah, what's his name? Taught you how to rap, and you was a goofy nigga in the hood, and we were just at your crib busting down bitches. Kind of was, but, you know, why would you bring the dude who y'all just crushing bras at his crib into the rap game? It makes no sense. It don't even sound right. It seemed like you were lying. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like y'all had a tight crew, and then he did some backstabbing shit, in your opinion, and now you turned your back on him, and it's no coming back. That's more likely what happened. Not that he was the goofy in the neighborhood and y'all didn't really like him, because you ain't taking that nigga on tour with you. You ain't breaking bread with him. You ain't keeping him around 20, 30 years in every one of your music videos. That's not what you're going to do to that guy. You might kick it with him when you come back to the hood. And you be like, hey, you at the crib? I'm finna slide over there. He ain't going to be in cane with you. That don't make sense. So it's been a crazy beef. 50 Cent then got in there talking about he a snitch, that Jim Jones a snitch. There's some video came out years ago where Jim Jones was being interviewed, but he was in a conversation with some guy. And in that interview, it sounded like it was his voice, and he was talking about super violating the guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine, where they were saying that why he didn't go to jail for that, because the guy who was on the phone with him supposedly went to prison, if I got this story right, allegedly. So make a long story short, Jim Jones ended up not going to prison. So everybody was screaming he was a snitch, he was a snitch. Well, they actually went to that particular guy. I think his name Mel Matrix or somebody from New York. He's supposed to be a big kingpin, or at that time he was. And he came on an interview saying that he was not. Jim Jones was not a part of that indictment. He didn't say nothing. He wasn't a part of it. And if they would have even messed with him, he could have sued them and got paid, because he was not involved. He was just somebody that I know is my friend, and he wasn't involved in my case, the guy was saying. And he was like, I was at the top of the case, so I would have known who was involved with my case. But, you know, y'all just throwing Jim Jones under the bus for nothing, because he didn't have nothing to do with what we went through. It was other guys that was involved. They might not have stood tall, but Jim Jones didn't have nothing to do with the whole thing. So that kind of cleared up the rumor with Jim Jones in that particular area. So now it's just the beef with him and Camron. But, you know, Mace popped out as well, because he was on the show when Camron responded, and he was eating popcorn, and they asked him why. You know, he was on a M-Rex show. He asked him why was he eating popcorn. He said, because I didn't have nothing to say. He said, I actually tried to get them guys together and see if we could have a sit-down conversation, and nobody was interested. They wasn't really at that point where they wanted to talk. He said, so as two grown men, they don't want to talk, they ain't coming together, I left it alone, and he stayed out of it. So I kind of look at Camron as sort of like a fake friend, because you think that when Mace wasn't rocking with him no more, he was thick as thieves with Mace, with Camron, with Jim Jones, and he stayed down with Jim Jones like that was it, that was his guy. And then as soon as Jim Jones and him stopped being tight, or where Mace came back around and got more tight with Camron, they kind of made up their friendship from the beef they had over the years. And Camron said that beef was just basically that Mace had got a lot of money and he started acting funny. And it happens, you know what I'm saying? So he would get a private jet and fly just him on a jet. And him and the other guys, Camron and the other guys, had to play like Parada, regular plane, you know what I'm saying? So they felt like, damn, what the hell was you doing? I thought we was all crew. So they kind of faded up off of Mace. And then he was just running with Jim Jones. Now Mace back cool with him. That Jim Jones ain't shit. So it's almost like you're kind of like a fake friend. You only rocking with me because things is in your behalf and in your favor. But if I ever do something or say something that you don't like, I ain't shit, you hate me, you got some problems, man. Well, I got some conversations in the back, so I'm going to let y'all go, man. Let me know in the conversation section what y'all think about them people, man.